Hello and welcome back to Void Dreaming. We'll be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after... I believe we had the whole emergency. And... yeah, it's not looking good with the whole Anwill being a liability on the ship, because there appears to be somebody that's looking for him. Or at least, that's what it appears to be. Because, I mean, you warp into a like, secluded part of space, and I think that's the Void Dreamer's whole job, is to just go like into out uncharted space and, you know, just take a look around at what's there in order to sort of expand the knowledge base of what's around in space, I guess. And there's a ship there that immediately when the Void Dreamer, well, the Dreamer, I guess that's what it's called, it's not called the Void Dreamer. Immediately when the ship popped up, it was like, oh hey, there you are, and immediately went straight for them. They had to hide at an ice ball planet. And thankfully, they were not discovered, at least it looks like that. I mean, who knows? But yeah, we're about to see the little, I guess, introduction thingy that the captain had Rail do, but now it's going to be for Anwill. So yeah, we're going to try to compare the information that we have with what he's going to say. But yeah, like, you know, we're going to try to see if we can catch him on a lie or something. Still don't really like him. But yeah, I guess. Everybody has their preferences, I guess. Some people like Martins that just appear out of nowhere in a stolen ship and have people, pirates, specifically dangerous pirates, going after them. But like, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, so yeah. Without further ado, let us continue Void Dreaming. You make your way back to your quarters and slip into the refresher in short order. The sonic emitters are a welcome massage after the strain of the last few hours. Emerging clean and fresh, you dress yourself much more comfortably and stretch your arms and legs. It may have been a long shift, but at least you're at the more fun end of the day. Or you will be, once Anwill finishes his little introduction. You arrive at the commissary, but the whole crew isn't present this time. Bromka and Kalia are missing, probably still on their way. Tolmany is sitting on the couch, her eyes closed. Sam is there as well, focused on something on a reader. Miz is munching on what seems to be little colored cubes, hard of shell and soft of inside. Zuberi is standing behind the replicator, though he looks up as you enter and smiles. He nods to you as you make your way in. So far, there is no sign of Anwill. Glad to see you made it okay. Can't miss my chance to see this sort of thing from the outside, can I? He chuckles to himself and shakes his head. No, I guess you can't. He seems lighter. This is in stark contrast to the Zuberi when the ship was threatened. You suppose that could have something to do with the threat, but still. Go on, take a seat. He should be here soon. So should the others. Well, Brom should be here soon. Kayla might just not show. Hey Z, if we can just not... No, Sam. Well, fuck you too. You chuckle as you hear footsteps behind you. You turn to see Bromka and Kalia entering. They nod at you, and Bromka with a smile and Kalia looking bored already. And there behind them, before you can even say a word, is Anwill. The Martin seems a bit out of sorts, nervously glancing around the commissary as more than a few pairs of eyes lock in on him. You feel a pang of sympathy. You've been here and recently to boot. You make your way over with a smile. Maybe you can reassure him. There's the guest of honor. How are you feeling? As you speak, Anwill suddenly smiles. All the better, knowing that you're here. Wouldn't miss it. You ready? The Martin looks slowly around once more. Zuberi steps out from around the replicator, offering Anwill a reassuring smile of his own. As I'll ever be, I guess. Zuberi nods as he raises a paw. Everyone's eyes turn to the captain. I know that we were here just a couple of days ago for this, but this tour's off to a weird start. We've got someone new aboard and, well, we normally only do this for a crew. I thought that it'd be a good idea to hear a bit from Anwill while he's here with us. As ever, it's important that he gets his eyes on you, and you get your eyes on him, just so that we're all reading the same data. He nods again to Anwill, waving the Martin over. Anwill shuffles towards Zuberi, swallowing hard as he pulls up beside the larger wolf. Alright then, Anwill, tell us a bit about yourself. He falls silent as you sit down at one of the commissary table chairs opposite of Ms. You know everyone is staring at him right now, and you know exactly how difficult that can be. Well, my name's Anwill, Clan Henyon. I'm 24 standard, and a contract pilot for the Trade Coalition, 3rd grade. Or was. I doubt that they'll take me back aboard now. I was born and mostly raised on Larikas with my older sister, Shefri. Our parents were xenobiologists, and we moved around a lot, but we settled in on Larikas whenever we could. He actually smiles a little as his shoulders relax slightly. What was it like there? Honestly, I don't really remember. Busy planet, densely populated. We were always doing something or other when we weren't traveling. I think we spent more time in space and on random worlds than we ever did on Larikas, but it was home as far as I was concerned. You could take the opportunity to ask for a bit more details here if you wanted. I mean, he's talking about being on ships mostly in other worlds, so ask about this time on those ships. What about those ships that you were on? Anwill chuckles at that and shakes his head. Nothing to tell there, unfortunately. I was never really into ships. And they were different every time, provided by whatever group was funding the research expeditions. None of them ever really felt like home to me. Sounds fun to me, but that could just be me. Lots of different ships to learn about and explore. He chuckles and shrugs. For a spacer, sure. I like 2 feet on solid ground when I could get it. I just wish that I could have gotten it more often. It put you out that much? He sighs long and deep. My life's always been weird, disconnected. Everything leads into everything else. Always on the move, always doing things. I never really had a chance to settle until I was off on my own. Where was that? The question restores a smile to the Martin's face. Following in my sister's footsteps. She was a decade standard older than me, and with the work that Mom and Dad were doing, she got the attention of the Institute for Galactic Advancement. Stars. Now there's 3 of them. Anwill blinks in confusion even as Bronca smirks. Given Anwill's age, that means that he was probably there at the IGA around the same time that you were, a prodigy just like you. Maybe you've met before? You don't remember many Martins from back then, but who knows? Anyway, I did everything that I could to get noticed, and it worked. Followed Sharif's path to the letter, got my invitation to the IGA, and went down the same path as she did. What track did you take? Medical bioengineering. Bronca whistles quietly as he folds his arms. You can't help but perk your ears in turn. In an academy of the toughest schooling in the galaxy, that is one of the most exacting tracks. It's no wonder you don't remember him. Medical bioengineering was a track that you stayed far away from. You've got to be the smartest person on this ship. Anwill's smile slips for a moment, but it returns a second later. I doubt that. I'm not Shefri. I couldn't handle it like she could. She breezed through it like it was nothing. She was always brilliant, shine like a star. I dropped out. It was just too much for me. You feel the nudge of Mrs. Barefoot against your leg. Look at that rail. A kindred spirit. You roll your eyes. The cheetah's tone is dripping with sarcasm. It's a privilege just to be invited in, Ms. You would know. He shrugs and shakes his head. The Martin looks completely dejected. Maybe you could ask him some more pointed questions. I mean, I did drop out too, I guess. I can say with some authority that your experience isn't unique. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Kalia snorts, but Zuberi shoots her a glare before she can say anything. Actually, it is. It's the one thing to say the IGA is not for everyone, but it's another to live that rejection. Brahm, back me up. What is the ratio of dropouts to graduates? The bear grimaces. When I passed, 16-1. And when I left, it was 18. See, it's what I've been telling you for years, Z. These kids are dumber than we ever were, and getting dumber by the generation. Miz hisses quietly at Sam, but the rabbit doesn't seem bothered, not until Zuberi's glare turns on them, anyway. By contrast, Anwill just slumps forward. My parents were mad. The Martin's head lifts slightly. Furious. Absolutely livid that, after all the effort that I'd put in, I just failed them and myself. I felt like a failure. That's how I still feel about it. But you're not, and I'm not. It's not a failure to do badly in a place and time that you don't fit in. It's not the who, but the where and the when. Time helps. Even with your parents? You give a tight little smile. They might not know all the details of your life afterward, but even them. They understood eventually, saw what I was getting at. Which was? That if I'd gone somewhere else, or if I could go back now with what I know, how I've learned and grown, I'd do better. And I bet you would too. He smiles for a moment. Just a moment. It's a nice sentiment, really, and I'd like to believe it. You can, like we said, even getting into the IGA at all is an achievement. It doesn't feel like some great thing to me. The failure, it still hangs on me. I was struggling, but I kept my head down and tail up. I did the best that I could. And I was working so hard as I could when I received the news that my parents had been killed. The commissary goes silent for a long moment. They were investigating some native fauna on a newly explored fringe world when pirates were discovered in the area. They tried to run and they didn't make it. Zuberi's paw comes to rest on Anwill's shoulder. I'm sorry. It's alright. It was years ago and I've mostly dealt with it now. You blink. He handed that with a lot more ease than you would have been able to. A glance around shows that your reaction is shared by most of the crew. But at the time, it crushed me, devastated me. I couldn't focus, I couldn't work. Drama. It was when I realized that I wasn't going to be able to handle the IGA. Not anymore. When I caught Sheffrey at the funeral, that's when she told me that the lab that she worked for was looking for a research assistant. I managed to get in with her recommendation. Nepotism wins the day again. I still had to pass all their checks and tests, but since I had IGA acceptance to my name, it went pretty smoothly. Next thing that I knew, Sheffrey and I were both working for BSS. Biomech Service Solutions? The simulant company? I mean, they do a lot more than just simulants, but yeah, that's the one. So, we can assign the blame for Oba squarely on yours and your sister's shoulders, can we? The crew mostly chuckles as Oba blasts a static raspberry from her audio output. Not me, sorry. Sheffrey didn't do work on the Class 3 project before she was reassigned to a Class 4 research and development, but I was gone by then. When you say you bounced around a lot, you weren't kidding. He tries a little smile, but he's only growing more uncomfortable by the minute. Did you look this unnerved and out of sorts when you were in his place? Sorry, did you say Class 4? As in Class 4 simulants? They were in early concept when I left. You're surprised that BSS was working on new models? Just hoping that they came to their senses. Anwill frowns, but doesn't reply directly. Instead, he looks around the rest of the crew and takes a deep breath. BSS didn't really work out for me either. I wasn't happy there and Sheffrey noticed. She helped me find something that I found a lot more satisfying. Flying Trade Coalition cargo contracts. I enjoyed it, that's what mattered. And no one's gonna tell you that you were wrong to enjoy something. Kalia opens her muzzle to say something, but it's clear from her smirk that she's just baiting Zuberi this time. Luckily for her, he doesn't take the bait. Well, this was Sheffrey trying to make up for, well, I guess for setting an impossible standard for me to try to live up to. She said that she owed me more than she could ever repay. I owed her everything in turn. My first ship, The simulant that I had for crew and my first biolog. She bought it all for me, gave me my fresh start. Your eyes widen. That is a lot of credits to throw around, and clearly you're not the only one to think so. BSS must pay quite handsomely for her to have afforded that. Well, like I said, she was part of the research and development team for their most important project. Of course they'd pay her well. But it stressed her out to no end. While I was there, I could see her getting more and more tired, more worn down. And as happy as I was that I was out and flying about, I started hearing from Sheffrey less and less. Did you ask her what was going on? All the time. I'd always get the same answer. It's all good, baby boy. Deadlines and supervisors just don't know when to shut it. Anwill smiles as he affects an exaggerated voice, and you can't help but smile as well. Seems like his sister definitely was the more boisterous of the pair. You believed her? No. His smile fades again, and he sighs. But that's when we get to what I guess you all wanted to know about, right? What led me out here in that ship. The commissary is silent, but you can tell without looking that everyone is laser focused on Anwill now. Well, that's why I had to explain about Sheffrey. She contacted me once, about 5 months ago, said that she'd quit BSS, retired, was done with the stress and strain. Would that we all could afford to retire so young. She said that she wanted some quiet time to herself, but that I should come visit sometime. Visit where? It doesn't matter. I never got the chance. What happened? The Martin swallows and visibly steels himself before he continues. She died about 2 months ago. Stars. The problem is, she had 2 causes of death. 2? Kalia's leaning forward further now. 2. There's the official story, but that's irrelevant because I know for a fact that it's all a cover-up. Ah, yes. The government's hiding something. How unlike you to be so glib. The government is always hiding something. I had access to her bioregulator data when she passed. It was linked on her transmission. You shudder. You can only imagine how awful that must have been. She suffered sudden pulmonary failure. Bioregulator read that the cause was poison. She couldn't save herself. It couldn't be faked, and I had to watch her. He chokes himself off as he bows his head. He rubs at his face and sucks in a ragged breath. You look up at Zuberi. Even the captain seems worried by what he's putting Anwill through. Still, you have to admit, the performance is affecting. If it is just a performance, Anwill's a masterful con jobber. You don't really know what to believe anymore as Anwill lifts his head again. It could have been an accident if not for her message. What message? The Martin shudders as he hugs himself tightly. She told me that something had gone wrong at BSS, that they'd made a mistake and she needed to fix it. What mistake? But the Martin shakes his head. She didn't get a chance to tell me. She wasn't able to speak much more after that. She sent some data my way, but I couldn't decode it by myself. He squeezes himself tightly. Did she say anything more? Just that she loved me and she was sorry. Anything more useful than that? Kalia. The vixen spreads her arms in a wide shrug. It's cold, but she's got a point. How did you decode the data that she sent? By making a mistake. See, Sheffrey had bought me my ship and my simulant. The latter I guess she was able to get pretty cheap working for BSS and all. But when she gave me both, she told me that she'd severed the BSS uplink on the simulant. She said that she wanted the simulant to just be for me. Oh, you know where this is going now. Clearly Sam does too, based on the reaction. And so when you activated the simulant and fed the data that you've been given into it, it triggered something. 2 somethings. One was a reconnection to the BSS central hub via warp space link, overriding any other permissions. The other was a kill command. Once more the commissary falls into stunned silence. Your simulant attacked you. She was raw programming then. The personality matrix was completely overwritten. She wasn't herself. It attacked you. It wasn't her fault.
Sounds like it was Biomech's fault to me.
Anwill flinches at the sound of Oba's voice. Now suddenly you can put together his reaction to her and all that he's now explained. That's why you're so nervous around Oba. You're worried that she could be compromised the same way.
Not likely.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
And so do I. The hardware that she'd be programmed to connect back to BSS with was destroyed with her shell. Even I don't know the extent of her neural network anymore. Oba's not a threat. Sure, unstable digital mind in control of the light support. Real non-threatening Z. We should unplug her just to be sure.
Maybe if you pull the plug out of your ass first, you could.
That's enough. You swear that you can hear Kalia's teeth grinding. Zuberi turns to pat Anwell's shoulder, the Martin's quivering where he stands. I'm sorry, please continue. Anwill nods, but it's another few moments before he's able to compose himself and speak. I got lucky. The simulant decided that it wasn't a physical threat and set out to sabotage my ship. Good assessment. I was able to take her down, but not before she crippled my ship and left it adrift. He rubs at the back of his neck and winces. You guess that he was still hurt pretty badly in the scuffle. I was picked up a day later by a spacer who caught my distress beacon. They got me to Raisoy Oma, where I tried to use the other systems to decode what Sheffrey had sent me. I couldn't get the job finished. But you did get something, right? He nods as he sighs. Coordinates, deep past the fringe and right to the galactic edge. I tried to check my accounts, but they were all frozen. Idiot. Anwill recoils as Zuberi glares at his 2IC. That's enough. I'm not wrong. She's really not wrong. He's obviously new to this. He wouldn't have known the mistake that he was making. Okay, so he is ignorant. Just a different flavor of stupid. Kalia. She rolls her eyes, folds her arms, and sits back in silence. Anwill waits a few more moments, shooting the vixen a venomous glance of his own before he settles and continues. I only had the credits physically on me, and all I could afford was the A-tripper that you found me in. From you hearing how apparently stupid that I was, I guess that they got a location trace on my attempts to access my accounts. Unfortunately, that was pretty likely. His tone turns terse as he stares down Kalia. It's a mistake anyone could have made. Sure, anyone. I know that I was stupid. That's all that I ever am, it seems. No, she doesn't mean. She does, and she's right. I just lurched from one disaster to another. Miz nudges your leg under the table again and flashes you a thumbs up. You roll your eyes in response. I thought that if I could just get to wherever she was trying to get me to go, I could, I don't know, do something. Make her loss, make everything that I've lost mean something. He shrugs and shakes his head. And I screwed that up too. If you're alive, you're not screwed up so badly. Again, the Martin gives a shake of his head. Well, it was worth a shot. So, I got a question. Sam raises a paw as they frown at Anwill. The Martin nods to them. Just so that we're clear, you're accusing Biomech, the biggest and most powerful corp in the galaxy, of killing your sister. Trying to kill you. I don't know what to think anymore. Yeah, I guess I am. I can only guess that she saw something that she wasn't supposed to, and they killed her for it. And when she sent me what she had, it triggered an alert. Kalia growls under her breath. Then you let them know that you survived by trying to access your accounts. BSS realized that they couldn't do anything too public about it, and hired the fucking White Fangs to kill Anwill. Except no. All eyes turn to you. You look around before settling your gaze on Zuberi. Feel free to share if you think that you got something. Anwill's ship was in the middle of nowhere, past the fringe. Pirates blow it there, it's job done. If they just wanted Anwill dead, they had him dead to rights. But they went to a lot more trouble, didn't they? The older wolf's stroking his chin now, frowning in thought. Good catch, Ro. You nod and smile, emboldened you continue your thought. If the pirates that came after Anwill were just there to kill him, they wouldn't need to board. They wouldn't need to play so coy. What would they have to fear? They had BSS backing. BSS is big enough to cover up one little pirate attack if they really wanted to, especially if only one person died as a result. Stars, they could do much worse if they wanted. And BSS has authority contracts. ASF, AIB, CORSEC, GALSEC. There is a lot of suits, political and corporal, who are invested in BSS doing nothing wrong. If. And we are spinning quite a conspiracy here, so I simply must preface this with an if. They did this. They were clearly looking for something. And that thing is why they boarded the ship. You nod and turn to Anwill. You told me yesterday that the only cargo that you were carrying was a computer core, encrypted and key to the data in your ship's memory banks. He nods, but then offers a sheepish smile. I was lying. He was what? I didn't know if I could trust you yet. There was no computer core. Well, good to know that he's actually a competent liar. It's a shame that you had to find out about it this way. So what were you carrying? Nothing. It was just me and the data that Chef Ryu sent me. I encoded all of the information that she sent into the ship's computer and encrypted it so that they couldn't get it. He taps the back of his head, just behind his right ear. I've got the data on a shard right now, locked in my neural port. I've keyed it to my bioregulator so that it can only be translated through me, and I have to be conscious to do so. And no, I won't be sharing it. Or I could just shoot you. Kalia, come on. Just shut the fuck up. Gasps go around the commissary. Even Kalia seems stunned that Zuberi would speak to her like that. He takes the response in stride and turns to look at Anwill while she's apparently frozen. Knowing all of this now, why did you come clean about it all with us? He shakes his head. Like I said to Rail, I didn't know if I could trust you. And now? I still don't know. Zuberi actually smiles at that. Good answer. Now Anwill is smiling as well. So, I've got to ask the question. What do you want? What do you mean? It's a simple enough question. The captain waves a paw around the commissary. We're all set to drop you off somewhere that you can get going. Try to put your life back together best you can. Probably won't get answers that way, but you'll be alive. Just gotta keep a low profile. But that's just what we're looking to do. What is it that you'd do if you had the control? Before Anwill can reply, Zuberi turns to Kalia and fixes her with an angry glare. She bites her tongue immediately. Anwill, for his part, looks more contemplative, like he doesn't even know how to answer the question that he's been asked. You can't blame him. It's a lot. I would like for you to continue with your plan. Zuberi blinks, obviously taken aback. You're sure? That's what you yourself want? You're not just saying that? You don't owe me anything, Captain. You and Rail have already done so much for me. The last thing that I want is to get you all in any more trouble than you might already be in just for harboring me. Miz snorts and chuckles. Please, for us to be harboring a criminal, you need to be charged with some crime. If BSS is truly after you, the effort must be clandestine to keep hidden the secrets that they wish to keep. No, you'll not be charged a criminal, and we shan't be at risk accordingly. Because pirates care about the law so much, don't they? That point does cause Mrs. expression to sour. I said only that there would be no crime committed. I said nothing about the White Fangs respecting the law and kindly not shooting at us. No big deal. We'll tell them that we don't know anything about any Anwill, and if they push it, we blast them. A few heads nod at that, Miz and Kalia among them, but Zuberi's eyes are elsewhere. Tolmany, you've been even quieter than usual. You realize belatedly that he's right. The Saib hasn't said a single word since you all got together for Anwill to give his little introduction. She interlaces her mechanical fingers as she stares Anwill down.
There is nothing to be said. Actions have already set consequences into motion. It matters little what Anwill wants. It matters just as little what we want. I will not comment on conspiracy theory. I will be swayed only by reason, evidence.
Her head tilts up slightly.
Oba, has Anwill been truthful with us?
Anwill gulps as he too lifts his head.
So far as my glorious, unburdened mind can determine. Yes, he has.
You didn't even know Oba could do that. Good to know for the future.
Then, we still have no proof of Biomech Surface Solutions' responsibility for the death of Shefri clan Henyon, or their employ of pirates to act in their interests, whatever those interests may be. We know precious little more about the forces at play around you. I cannot and will not render premature judgment.
Anwill takes a couple of steps over to her, Zuberi's paws falling off his shoulder as he does so. What can I do to prove my good intentions to you? Her glowing purple eyes simply stare back at him.
Nothing. Time and your actions will reveal all that I require.
She stands slowly and brushes down her dress with one mechanical paw.
I do not trust you.
That's fair. I understand.
However, if you should require assistance in decoding the information on your data shard, I will be willing to assist when my duties and personal needs to do not otherwise require me.
It's a peace offering from the Saib to the Martin, and you see Anwill start to smile. I appreciate that truly. But this is information that I need to discover for myself. I mean no disrespect or offense, of course. Until I know what information my sister was trying to entrust to me, I don't want to put it in anyone else's paws. Does that make sense?
It does, and we shall see if it proves a wise response.
She looks past Anwill to nod at Zuberi.
I am contented, and with respect, I must take my leave.
Kalia sits up a little higher. Are you all right? Do you need Brahm too?
I am well, merely fatigued, if I may.
Of course. I forgot for a milsec that your sim time was interrupted. Go on, get some rest. Take care, dear.
I will. Thank you.
She nods to the captain and Kalia and pauses long enough to favor you the same before she turns and strides out of the commissary. As she goes, Zuberi sighs. As far as I'm concerned, the plan, as we've established, it doesn't change. To protect ourselves, we've had to take a slightly longer route through our schedule than I'd like. Today's definitely seen the delays mount, especially after yesterday. If we're lucky, we'll be in range to get Anwill off the ship in 2 days' time. If everything proceeds accordingly, that'll be the order of events. We've all got to get back to whatever we need to. For now, I want you all to get some rest and relaxation in. You've all earned it. You're all dismissed. You nod and watch as the crew begins to file out of the commissary in much the same fashion as Tolmany. Kalia still doesn't look happy, neither does Sam or Miz. Anwill and Branka seem relieved, if anything. You can't blame them, that was intense. You, however, linger for a moment. You look up as Zuberi and Anwill are the last to be left in the room. The captain turns to you for a moment later. Something to add, Rail? I mean, there's too many unknowns to just drop him off right now. For one, if we drop him off and he is telling the truth, chances are he's gonna get kidnapped / killed. I would honestly like to get rid of him as fast as possible. Just dump him anywhere. You also did promise that you were gonna, talk to him. But I could just leave. Just be like, nope, there's nothing to talk about. Bye, Anwill. Certainly not gonna keep my promise to you. But I guess we should voice our concerns about dropping him off. Ugh. You glance at Anwill and are met with a quizzical stare from the Martin. At least he'll probably like what you have to say. I have doubts. Doubts? About dropping Anwill off at, what was it?
K2R BAQ 8-9.
I don't blame you for not remembering that.
I do.
Of course she does. I just worry. Zubari turns to look Anwill over. The Martin is smiling. Looks like he did like what you had to say after all. That's sort of my job, not yours. I know, but given the situation, White Fang's and assassinations and corporal plots, dropping him off at the fringe would be a death sentence. Good for us, but is that good enough? Zuberi winces, nodding along. The thought had occurred to me. Tell me what more I could do. You glance over at Anwill. His smile's faded. I can't burn you all further, Rail. As sweet as what you're all getting at is, I don't have the right to put any of you in danger. You saved my life. I can't turn around and ask you to put yours at risk on my account, can I? You wouldn't be asking. I appreciate that you wouldn't want to ask. That you just want to put all this behind you and leave us safer, better off. But Rail's right. Just dropping you off on K2R doesn't sit right with me either. Not as long as you've been honest with us. The Martin sighs and shakes his head. I wish that I could prove any of this. I'm sorry that you only have my word. You believe him, Rail? That's the question after all, and honestly, you just about think that you do. Stupid Rail. What you learned on his A-Tripper has been confirmed, after a fashion. The course plotted matches his story. The sequence of events lines up, all too conveniently. You still can't account for the A-Tripper looking stolen, but it wouldn't be unheard of for a backwater shipmonger to pawn a stolen craft on the cheap. Everything considered, you can't be sure, but you're leaning in that direction stupidly. I think so. Zuberi's jaw tightens, but he nods as his tail twitches in a short wag. Not good enough. Oh my god, he's smart. You blink, and the older wolf smiles. Not to commit anyway, but it's good enough to give me something to think about. We've still got a couple of days after all. I'll consider it. All I can ask for, thank you, sir. He nods back at you, and as you turn to see Anwill's smile has not just returned, but grown wider still. So, not that I want to impact your day or anything. You did say earlier that you were okay with meeting with me after, all that? You still don't mind? Course not. I don't mind. I don't have better things to do. No, not at all. Only to see you be humiliated. He looks up at Zuberi. You don't mind me stealing Rail for a little bit? I don't mean to come across as rude or blowing you off or... No, not at all. Don't worry about it. I wanted to get some food anyway. The Martin nods and turns back to face you once again. Then, shall we? Sure, you lead on. I'll see you later, Zuberi. Have fun. Oh, I am. He turns his attention back to the replicator and starts to make his way over to it as you follow Anwill out and into the corridor. The pair of you leave the commissary behind, and the Martin pauses in the corridor. Thank you. What for this time? He chuckles and shakes his head. For agreeing to meet with me. I didn't honestly know if you would. Perceptive little... Why's that? He looks down at the deck as if considering what he wants to say. I mean, I know that my being here isn't exactly a net positive outcome for this ship and her crew. If you were holding it against me... How can I hold it against you, Anwill? You were chased out here by pirates and left for dead, allegedly. Blaming you wouldn't help anything. He smiles softly, but there's still some worry sparkling behind his eyes. I guess I should have thought more of you. You already think more of me than you probably should. I guess we'll have to agree to disagree. He looks around for a moment before he nods down the hall. This way. We'll go to my quarters. He's faced away from you, so he can't catch your frown. By this point, you're more inclined to think of Anwill as an innocent victim rather than part of some wild pirate scheme. You follow along and squash that remaining suspicion as best as you can. Oba will doubtlessly be monitoring everything. She won't let anything happen to you. You're almost certain that she won't let anything happen to you. You're brought back from your musings by the sound of Anwill's door opening, the Martins looking at you with a smile. You still with me? Yeah, sorry. Mine wandered for a millisec there. You wave to the door. After you. You're the guest today. After you. You shrug and smile for his benefit as you step into his room. It's suspiciously similar to your own quarters, but that makes sense. You're not exactly made yourself at home, and Anwill doesn't have anything that belongs to him left. He follows you in, the door closing after him. He makes his way to the center of the room, suddenly looking a lot more nervous than he did before he had you here alone. Okay, so what did you need, Anwill? He looks up at you once more and shakes his head. Honestly, I don't know. Alright, that's not where you thought this little rendezvous was gonna go. Usually people who want to see me in private have a reason for it. No, I mean, I do have a reason. I have a few, actually. Good ones, I promise. He's starting to stumble over his words and you shake your head. Okay, calm down, Anwill. It's okay. Just take your time. Breathe. I'm not going anywhere. He nods before taking your advice. His breaths become loud and deep and slow, and your smile returns unbidden a few moments later as he relaxes. Better? Getting there. I think so, yeah. Thanks. No problem. You think you feel up to telling me what this is all about now? You can see a trace of panic starting to wind back through him again, and you reach out quickly to his shoulders. His eyes widen, but he stills immediately. Calm. It's okay. Yeah, all right, sure. He clears his throat as he releases his shoulders and steps back again. Could you... Do you wanna... sit? You glance behind yourself to the little table. There is not a lot of space anywhere in his quarters to sit. It'll have to do. You shrug and take your seat, though Anwill stays standing. You could imagine him pacing if there was room. You, saved my life. It was a group effort. No. His body tenses significantly and you find your ears pinned back at his sudden shift in expression. No. You keep downplaying it. I appreciate the modesty, but we both know that you saved me. You came over to my ship. You braved what was done to it. You pulled me out. Technically, Oba did the heavy lift. Rail, please. You clap a paw across your muzzle and offer a silent, apologetic wince. You're not making this any easier for the poor Martin, are you? After a few more silent moments, Anwill sighs and relaxes again. I owe you everything. I want to know if there is anything that I can do for you, anything that I can give you to thank you for what you've done for me. That's very generous, but you don't exactly have anything to offer, and I wouldn't ask for anything anyway. You needed help. The captain wasn't going to leave you over there to die. And really, if I'd not gone, he'd be the one that you'd be trying to thank instead of me. But it was you. Unless you were ordered to go, you still chose to save me. And even if you were ordered, you still had to brave the situation to get me out. You bite your tongue. He's clearly got it in his head that you're some sort of hero. The factors at play won't change his mind, and might just irritate him further. Best you let him get it all out of his system, you suppose. No, I wasn't ordered. I offered to go. Like I said, the captain would have gone if I didn't. That was too much of a risk for the ship, so I offered. So I was right. You do deserve praise for this. I have already got plenty of praise from the captain, and you've thanked me plenty too. You don't know me anything, Anwill. No offense, but I'd have done it for anyone. You guess that old saying isn't just words. you've already kind of proved the intent behind it for yourself. From the smile on Anwill's muzzle, you can see that it hasn't lowered his opinion of you in the least. You're a good person, Rail. I try, but I'm not perfect. You don't need to be. You're fine just the way you are. He moves a little closer, paws fidgeting as he avoids looking at you. I almost don't want to ask, because I don't know your situation, and I don't even know you all that well, but I feel like I have to. Ask what? From the heat in his ears and his sudden shyness, you're starting to put together an idea of why maybe he asked you here. He lifts his head slowly, taking a deep breath. I know that I don't have a right to ask, but I still have those coordinates, you know, the ones Sheffrey left me. Oh, that's not where you thought that he was going with this. I feel like I have to go. I have to get to them. If I turn around now, if you all send me away, I could be losing my best chance to actually get there. I shouldn't even ask, but I have to at least try. Well, he's right there. It's a big ask. It's also, unfortunately for him, not something that you can control. And well, that's the captain's call, not mine. I don't decide our route, our destination. That's his job. I've barely been on the ship longer than you. I couldn't convince him even if I wanted to. I know. He hangs his head and sighs. I know it's not your decision. I know it's not necessarily in your power. You came for me. You saved me. I guess I hope that you could save me again. This time you're the one to sigh. You lean back in the chair, and Will looks so despondent. It's got nothing to do with saving you again, though. If you can get core word, if I stay on the fringe, the pirates get to me. If I go core word, BSS picks me up themselves. If I don't find something, find anything that can clear me and my sister, I'm dead. He hugs himself tightly as he sinks down to his knees. Both of his paws untangle from around his middle as you blink, watching him prostrate himself before you. I need to get to those coordinates. I have nothing to give in exchange. Anwill, I'm happy to serve the ship and the crew in any capacity the captain requires of me. I'll do anything within my power, I swear it. Anwill, no one would doubt that. I need to get there. Anwill. His head lifts as you sigh again. If you'd known that this is what the Martin wanted from you, maybe you wouldn't have agreed to this little meetup in the first place. Anwill, it's not up to me. If you want to stay on board, change your course, only Zuberi can make that call. I'm flattered, I really am, that you think that I've got that kind of pull on the ship, but I don't. I'm sorry. He gulps, bowing his head down again to hide his eyes once more. You hear him take a slow, ragged breath before he nods. Don't be. I'm the one that should be sorry. I shouldn't be asking. I certainly shouldn't be putting you in this position. It's okay. It's not. None of this is okay. Nothing is alright and He lifts his head up once more, shuffling just a little closer to where you sit. I don't know what to do. I mean, I know what I have to do. I just don't know how. His jaw clenches as his eyes dip away once more. It's hard not to feel pity for the Martin, given the circumstances. Hard maybe for you. Assuming what you've been told is all on the level, of course. You force yourself to remember that the very real possibility that this is all an elaborate act. As Anwill's eyes shimmer with tears, though, you'll recognize the difficulty in faking what he seems to be feeling. You can't promise anything. Try to figure out why this matters so much. Maybe you can eke out some information before committing to this. Why is this so important to you anyway? I mean, you have to know how dangerous this all is. If I didn't when I set out, I definitely do now. He leans back, clasping his paws together as he considers his answer. Sheffrey was deep in with the BSS. She had access to their most secret projects, was a key developer on several of them. I think that they killed her. I'm sure that they killed her. I can't let that go. I can't let her death go unpunished. You shake your head slowly. You said that you needed to get there. The fact that you're asking at all, this isn't about justice or revenge. He just shrugs and shakes his head. Those don't qualify as a need. They're a want. And I can't understand wanting everything to make sense, wanting to find something in what happened, and setting things as right as you can, even if you can't change what happened. You shudder as you speak. You know the feeling well. But there's more to this, isn't there? Why do you really need to do this? I don't understand. He tilts his head, confused. I mean, this is insane, right? You're talking crazy, Anwill. I get it. I appreciate the single-minded determination, the need to make sure that your sister's death counts for something. I get it. I respect it even. But you tried to get out to those coordinates with all the resources that you had at your disposal. It failed. You barely survived. Now what? You try again? If you'll help me. And what if we don't? Then don't. Irritation spreads across the Martin's face. He's clear your line of questioning isn't really agreeing with him. The irritation is something new, at least. He's been nothing but perky or depressed since he came aboard. This is new. At least you know how much this matters to him. It doesn't guarantee that you have a better grip on what's going on in his mind, but it's a start. Unfortunately, that just leaves you right back where you started. You can't promise anything. Yeah, it's not up to me, dude. You groan as you shake your head. He is not getting it. Look, it doesn't matter how I feel, Anwill, really. Zuberi's the one that you got to convince. I don't think that he likes me. That's interesting. The fact that the captain let him come onto the bridge during the first shift would certainly imply otherwise. Or at least he wanted to get a look in on Anwill, and that was the best time and place for such a thing. I don't think that you're being fair to him, not given the situation that you might have put us in. I don't want to put any of you in this position. I'm not saying that you did, but we're here now, all of us, and we've got to make the best of this bad situation. And honestly, with the information that we have right now, I don't think that we should go. Not even if we could. The Martin recoils slightly at that. It's like he didn't expect that you'd come down so hard on him. I thought that you believed me. You even told the captain that you didn't think that I should get off at the mining platform. I do believe you as much as I can. As much as you can? Now he's making this more painful than it needs to be. Put yourself in my position. Put yourself in the captain's. It's just like he said. What choice do we have? What other options are there? That's exactly what I'm asking. You're asking us to abandon what we're doing here and any possible chance at securing any sort of safety for ourselves to get you somewhere. He looks down again. It's not as though he doesn't understand the gravity of what he's asking, at least. I'm sorry. You don't have to be. What's done is done now. If you need to get to those coordinates so badly, then maybe you'll be able to find another way. Yeah. From his despondent tone, it's clear that he doesn't believe that. You don't either, if you're honest with yourself. He seems to have nothing. He lost 2 ships in rapid succession. That's enough to ruin almost anyone. It's no wonder that he's so desperate. Thank you. For what? Making you feel awful? Dashing your hopes? He actually chuckles at that. It's nice to see a moment of levity, even if it's probably put on for your benefit. No, for being honest with me. For not just leading me on with false promises and then pulling the ground out from under me. I'm glad of it. Well, I'm surprised to hear you say that. But I guess I'm glad too. He nods, smiling again. It's a little sadder than you would have liked to see, but at least it's a smile. At least I'm alive to keep trying, like you said. And that's all thanks to you. You watch as he shuffles closer to you, his smile only growing as he lifts his paws to place them on your thighs. Your fur stands on end with the touch. Oh, this was where he was going with all this after all. That he's still treating you like that after you basically told him that you didn't believe him and wouldn't help him though. Anwill, Rail? What are you doing there? You still saved my life. I didn't expect you to help me any more than that. But that alone, it deserves a reward. Oh boy. Yeah, stop him. His paws shift to your belt, swiftly and dexterously starting to undo it. You hesitate for a moment. You're only male, after all, before your paws close around his. Don't do that. He blinks when he hears that, head tilting up higher to stare at you. I don't understand. You don't understand, no? No, His paws go slack in your grip. You guide them back to your thighs, away from anything sensitive. I just didn't expect that you'd say... Oh, stars, I'm so sorry. What was I? Of course you wouldn't. Why would you? I mean, look at me. I'm so stupid. I never should have. Hey. You reach back to his paws as he tries to pull them away, stalling out on their retreat with a tight squeeze. Stop it. I didn't even think. Of course you wouldn't find me attractive. Don't worry about it, really. You only know if someone's into you by asking. Or, getting on your knees and feeling them up. The heat in the Martin's ears is something that you imagine you can feel boiling off of him as he groans and slips his paws out of yours. I'm so sorry, Rail. It's fine. Not everyone appeals to everyone. Just stop apologizing, alright? It's no big deal. And I mean, I'm definitely flattered. You're just not attractive. To me, I'm sure that there's plenty of people who would be very grateful for you to treat them like this. But not you. Not me. Sorry, Anwill. It's fine, really. Actually fine. Stars, this is embarrassing. He sighs as he slumps back down, paws slipping out of your grip. I've made an absolute fool of myself here, haven't I? No, of course not. Absolutely not. He frowns up at you, and you shrug. Maybe just a little. Maybe more than a little. That makes him laugh, and it's a relief to hear that over anything else that he might have said to make things more awkward. Maybe you should have just left me on that ship. Tough call. But I think I did the right thing. I think so. I hope so. No matter what, I'm sure that saving someone in a bad situation is a good thing. He thinks about that for a moment. What if the person that you saved turns out to do something horrible? That is an odd question to ask. It does put you on the defensive again, rousing your suspicion once more. Then that's on them, not me. I'm not the one telling them what to do once I've saved them. Why, you planning to do horrible things now that you've been saved? He chuckles at that and shakes his head. No, nothing like that. I expect that I'll be blamed if anything bad happens as a result of you helping me. I don't want you to think less of me. You shouldn't worry about that. You can't control anyone else either. People will do what they want to do. Generally, they'll do what they think is right. Generally? You snort. You've seen plenty of examples of the opposite in the lead up to your posting on the Dreamer. Generally. Sometimes people do what they know's wrong because it benefits them. I suppose they do at that. He falls silent and sighs. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. Not the crew on the ship, obviously, but you specifically. You smile at the Martin. This is clearly just his hero fantasy flaring up again, of course, putting you on a pedestal like a god of old for what he did. I promise that I'll not blame you for the incidental misfortune that comes up as a result of saving your life. He grins and nods to you. Good. I think that I can sleep easier now, knowing that. But not now, obviously. I know you don't want me to, He gestures down to your lap with a nervous chuckle. Cochino, my god. But did you want to stay? Not all day, and not if you have anywhere else to be. You're already here, and as much as I would like to reward you for all that you've done for me, you don't have to sell me, Anwill. It's okay. I'll stay. You will? Sure, I don't have anywhere else that I need to be. Besides, I promised. Anwill settles in on his sleeping pad, sitting there on the edge of it while you stay in your chair. Your conversation drifts across recounting of your respective experiences aboard the ship so far. The Martin is eager to hear about how your own introduction to the crew of the Dreamer went. Now that he's had to go through it himself, you keep details of yourself relatively light. He does hang off your every word, however, enthusiastic about the way the different members of the crew reacted and what else you got up to that day. He's especially taken with your time cooking with Bromka. While he admits to not having any culinary skills himself, he seems to hope that he gets the chance to experiment with the bear a bit. Ew! No! Bear mine! Keep your dirty mitts off of him. It does occur that aside from yourself, Zuberi, and Bromka, Anwill's not really had the chance to meet any of the other crew. While he's wary, you do manage to convince him to try and make some friends of his own. He's seemingly swayed, agreeing that he'll maybe try the rec room soon enough. Whether he has more time aboard the ship or not, he should make the best of it. He seems to agree. You're only together for a little while longer before he realizes that he's taking up too much of your time, ushering you up and out of your chair. He does pause briefly as he guides you to the door. Thank you again, Rael. I'm very glad that you came. I am too. He smiles as he taps the door controls. The door slides open a moment later. Take care, Rael. You too. I'm sure that I'll see you about. I should be so lucky. You step back into the main corridor and nod to the Martin. He returns the nod, smiling broadly. The door closes again for a moment later, and you're left alone. You nod to yourself. That definitely was an interesting experience. A quick glance at your reader shows that you've eaten up practically half of the third shift. Maybe you should head out now and see what else you can get up to. That's where I'm going to leave it for today. So, we begrudgingly spent time with the Martin, Anwill. I say begrudgingly because it's me. You can probably guess that I'm not a very big fan of him. I have my reasons. I don't trust him. I feel that he is a very, very good actor. Using the waterworks, using his, I guess, talents to try to sway people the way he wants. And, you want to know something funny? Rael isn't the only one that says no to his advances. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Anyways, but yeah, I do not trust him, despite the fact that the choice that I picked made it seem like Rael was trusting of him. Like, even if I had personally made that decision, it wouldn't be to say, like, you know what? I don't think that he's such a bad guy. No, I would still think that he's a bad guy. I would be with Kalia and just be like in our own little corner, just like suspiciously eyeing him. Like, yeah, sure. We believe your story. But like, have our hands on the holster of the gun, just like ready to shoot. Anyways, I should probably bleep that out. Anyways, but yeah, he told his side of the story. Whether or not he can be believed, we don't know yet. I guess some people would say we have to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I am not some people. Yeah, it seems too convenient. And having the whole conversation privately with Rael kind of seemed like he wanted to try to sway him any way possible to convince him to tell Zuberi that they should go and check out these coordinates. I'm pretty sure that eventually we are going to end up checking those coordinates out. Whether it's because something happens on the ship, or because he convinces the crew, or because he convinces the captain, or because he steals a ship or something. I don't know. I just know that we eventually are probably going to end up there. It is nice to see that he hasn't been talking to the crew yet, because it means that I haven't missed out on anything in order to keep him from, you know, mutinying the ship away from the captain and then taking it over to those coordinates, if they are real. But yeah. Oh, that means I'm gonna have to interact more with people. But yeah. It is pretty obvious I have no trust in him, which unfortunately, due to my choices, means that I'm probably gonna end up trusting him, or at least Rail is gonna end up trusting him a lot more than I personally would. But yeah. And you're asking, then why did you make those choices then? Because it's for the purpose of moving the story forward, you know? I don't want to be so antagonistic yet, even though I am antagonistic of Anwill. Anywho, what are your thoughts? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Void Dreaming yourself, you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which will have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download and play the game yourself. If you would like to support the project, they do have a Patreon, I think. Yeah, they do have a Patreon where you can subscribe and get earlier access to builds of Void Dreaming yourself. There's probably going to be the part 4 coming out sooner rather than later, probably by the time that you watch this, because this comes out a little later for normal public people, because it is going to be scheduled. You know, it's going to probably be like 2 weeks before you watch it, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, you know, support the channel, become a channel member so you can watch these videos as they're being scheduled. It's usually, again, like 2 weeks in advance, maybe like 1.5, I don't know, it depends. Like right now, I was playing Silksong when this came out, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna play the game more before I start recording. But yeah, so like, I'm recording this later than I would have liked. But yeah, I enjoyed Silksong. I'm not gonna apologize. Anyways, but yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, support the channel, become a channel member. Watch these videos sooner-ish than normal. Or, you know, support through Ko-fi. It's up to you. Or Throne, if you're feeling even more generous. I have gift cards there. Buy me a movie ticket, I don't know. Buy me something random off Amazon, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.